Oh no, he used the fake finals video, the fake one that I said.
It's tough.
It's
tough.
It's tough because I was absolutely joking on that one. And that video also gave me beef because someone was like, I said this exact same thing. You stole my idea, when really we just had legitimately just had the same idea for a video.
I had someone blame me for stealing the idea of having a 32 team fantasy league. And they're like, wow, where'd you get this idea? And I was like, I don't know. Are we live?
Okay.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, guys? One sec. I got to pull the chat up here.
How far could Matt throw a dining room table? Not that far, man.
All right. Okay. Why do I have such a long neck? I don't know. It is like most of my height, though. I am kind of a Mickey Mouse 6'4" for that, though.
I compensate with bad posture, so it looks like my neck is shorter than it really is, right? You gotta
yeah. I do have kind of a long neck.
That's my strategy.
I'm a Chiefs fan. When does the pain stop? I'm telling you, dude. You and me, Chiefs fan. I'm a Packer fan.
When does the pain stop? We've only made 4 straight AFC championships. We only have one Super Bowl and the best quarterback in the league.
You and me, we're the same guy. The Chiefs are the Packers. Rodgers is Mahomes. It's what's going to happen. They're going to win the Super Bowl before their big deal. Everybody leaves, and you never win one again. And let me tell you, you're going to make the playoffs. You're going to have a lot of AFC championship game losses. And what you got to realize is it's better to always be in the playoffs and lose than not be there at all. All right. You're going to have fun seasons still. It's not going to be a total disaster, but not everybody can be Brady. You know, if people are like, oh, Mahomes is on a GOAT trip. This is NBA. Okay. This is NBA.
Speaking of NBA, I think the topic for the day has got to be, who are the top 5 Lakers of all time, seeing as this is
rocked the
stay hot world.
Rocked the stay hot world was the video that I posted of the dude at Chilltown Hoops had the I'm just stuttering here. I'm not coherent. Okay.
I told you about I didn't know if you had seen it.
Yeah,
so you
I had not seen
it.
I have not logged into this. I just woke up. It's been crazy because I just woke up. I slept in. I slept till like 10:30. I woke up. Tyreek Hill is a Dolphin. I'm like, oh my God, that I did like, what are you? I never even I thought it was fake. And then obviously I had to like think about what I thought about that. And then this is happening at noon. So I thought about that for a while. I took a shower. I made a video on it. And then I get on this. And then it's like, oh, Chilltown Hoops responded to your top 5 Lakers videos, and he's mad at you. So I haven't seen that video. And just in general, I would say that before I see anything, he's going to be wrong and I'm going to be right, because if the general essence of it is that Kobe is not a top 5 Laker of all time, that is just not a good take. So
are you gonna watch it?
I'll watch it right now. We'll see what he's talking about. Is this a 3-minute video? Okay.
I'm assuming you guys know who that is.
Exchange right here in particular. I got a man 11. Say that too loud.
Hold up. Let me type that username in the chat.
Thought about where I got Kobe, but Kobe's not as high on my list as people really think he should be. Like, I'm not even sure he's on the top 5 of the all-time greatest Lakers, bro.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say. So you obviously made your post in haste, because if you didn't, then you would have known this. So the original statement, which was not made by me, was, I'm not sure Kobe Bryant is a top 5 Laker all time. And my rebuttal to that was, that's not ridiculous. And the reason why I said that is because there are people who will make an argument for other great Lakers, and it will be legitimate. I think Kobe is a top 5 Laker all time. I only got him behind Jabbar and Magic. That's it. But there are some people who will make the argument for Elgin Baylor, for Jerry West, Chamberlain for Diesel, and it'll be legit. So we got a guy who played 11 years. That's over a decade in the NBA, and he's not sure. So it's obvious that we don't all think like that. So when you say we, who are you categorizing as we? And if we don't think that, then we're delusional. Well, since we're on the subject of delusional, isn't this you?
So we all know that whoever wins the finals this year, that ring won't count. Their path to the finals was too easy. Everyone was too.
Is that we logic again? Still trying to get to the bottom of that. But that's neither here nor there. I like to think that I'm a really good source of information. And I deal in fact. I get my facts screwed up sometimes, but for the most part, I deal in fact. So, for example, when Jabbar retired from the Lakers, well, not only was he the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, he also was the all-time shot block leader, too. That's a big deal, right? That's a pretty big deal. I would appreciate it in the future if you mention my name and you talk about me. Make sure that you get your facts correct, because, like I just said, I like to think that I'm a pretty good source of information. And when people listen to
This is a mess, dude.
So,
It really is.
It really is a mess because there's two miscommunications here. The first one being that I was like coming after him, and I wasn't. I just heard the sound all the time about the top 5 greatest Lakers, and it's like there have been so many good players who played for the Lakers that I'll make my, I'm thinking about it now. I'll make my list. But I wasn't coming out. I didn't listen to the full thing because it was just based on the sound that I hear, which isn't the full thing. So I didn't like.
Right.
He's right that I truly did not listen to his full podcast with Jason Williams. I don't even think I follow that account. So it's like I don't know all the nuances of his stance on it. My disagreement, and it is delusional, to not have Kobe as a top 5 Laker of all time. I don't care if it's Jason Williams saying it. I don't care if it's Kobe himself saying it. I don't care if it's Magic Johnson saying it. I don't care who it is. It is delusional not to have Kobe Bryant as a top 5 Laker of all time. He leads the Lakers in damn near every statistic. You ask any Lakers fan who the best Laker of all time is, they're going to say Kobe Bryant. You ask anybody in the Lakers organization who the greatest Laker of all time is, they're going to say Kobe Bryant. It's clear, it's Kobe. He is the Laker. Mamba mentality is the Lakers whole brand now. And it's just, he's the greatest. He played there for probably the longest amount of time. He's won them 5 rings. That's which is as much as Magic, which is as much as Kareem. So while being just more iconic, especially he's the greatest Laker of all time. And yeah, I would debate him on that. I would debate Jason Williams on that. I really would. I think that he's wrong when he says that, and I get that he played in the league, and I get that he was good in the league.
That was the other. Yeah, I think that was the other person in the
yeah. So I just think that he's wrong on that, and he's like, oh, isn't this you with me saying that no rings have been legit since 2014? That was me joking because people were calling the Suns run Mickey Mouse, and I'm a Suns fan. So I was like, well, as a joke, it's well, if the Suns injury luck run was fraudulent, every run has been fraudulent because every team has been assisted by injury luck for the past several years, or Kevin Durant joining the team. So that's not that he misunderstood that video from a long time ago and doesn't understand the context of it being a joke about the Suns. So just a mess of a video all around. I'll probably say something about it, but
I think you got it, dude.
I think I gotta. I'll do it after. Yeah. So, who are your top 5 greatest? Do you think I got the list right? Shaq, West, Kareem.
No, I think
Magic's
the best Laker of all time.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't think Kobe's a bad choice, but I think in the same way that Kobe Bryant is maybe what you think of when you think the Lakers now, is probably that way for Showtime Lakers is just as much the Lakers to me. I think I'm a big longevity guy, so maybe Kobe gets him there, but Magic I think is I think the only thing keeping Magic from being the consensus number 4 player of all time, in my opinion, is the fact that his career got cut short. I think he was just that good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's definitely him and Kobe are 1 and 2. I think that's obvious too. If Magic is number 1, that one I can see. but it's Kobe number 2 if that's the case, which I assume you would agree with. And this is like the whole, it gets into like greatest versus best, because it's like, again, I said in that video that I can see maybe being like, if you like, you can have Kareem as the 3rd best player of all time, which I think a lot of people do, and he was with the Lakers of all time, so a long time. So it's like, okay, if Kareem was the 3rd best of all time, and you know, he played for the Lakers for a long time, and if you have Kobe as like the 11th best of all time, and he played with the Lakers for a long time, well, Kareem was the better Laker because he was the better player. But I just don't think that's how, like, I think greatest isn't best. It's not. It's, and the example I always go back to is it people can't make sense of it, and people can't separate it except in the draft. That's when people understand the difference between greatest and best. When Tim Tebow can be the greatest player in Florida history, but not be the number 1 or one of the greatest, like, no one would dispute that Tim Tebow is one of the greatest quarterbacks in college football history, of what he accomplished and how iconic he was, and the run that he went on with Florida, and the trophies he won. But he wasn't the first overall pick. You know, he wasn't the first quarterback taken in that draft class. So all of a sudden, like, people understand the difference between iconicness and greatness in a career, and they can separate that from talent in a draft setting, but they can't when that like actual circumstance is taken away. That's how I like think of the difference between greatness and best, where it's like, and the same deal with Kobe. Like, Kobe is the greater Laker all time. Like, he just is. He's just so iconic, and he won so much there, and he has all their records, like they're all time leading everything. So it's just, yeah, he just has his own day. Yeah, he has his own day in LA. It is just a different type of legacy. And it's like, if you want to say Kareem's the better player, like, fine. I would probably say Kareem's the better player, but he's not the greater Laker. He's not the greater Laker. You know?
I don't know. I think once we do that, we kind of get into like just arguing what words mean rather than who are like better players,
Right.
and all that stuff. I think it's fine. Like I think
it's fine. It's just Kobe's in the top 5. Like, there's just
that's
no
got to
way.
be a very frustrating. It's gonna be frustrating to have that video where it's like you didn't even, like, you weren't actually coming after him too.
Yes. I just think like that video, and my list is good. All right, my list is good. It's a good Shaq, West, Kareem, Magic, Kobe. It's a good.
It's a good list.
No one can say, if you look at that list and say it's bad. I don't care. I don't know what to tell you, but I'll make a response to it. But those are my thoughts. It's like, I think in general he's wrong about a couple things there, and I think Jason Williams is mostly the one in the wrong, not there. So it's all right. That's okay. Hey,
Matt never gets into these beefs, you know. I try my actually the guy he does a podcast with made a video about me, and I did respond to it. I didn't hear anything back from him ever, but it was kind of like so into NBA jargon that it was just like not interesting to listen to, though. But
yes. All right. Well, let's talk about things in the current NBA. I was watching. Let's see. I watched Timberwolves and Mavericks. Was just a mess of a game the other night.
I did not. I watched Atlanta Knicks.
Yes, and Trae Young back in the Garden went crazy. I think he had something like 45.
He's
45. So Knicks put up a good fight in that game, despite them missing some of their better players. But Trae Young owning the Knicks is just a very funny little side.
Maybe
the NBA has going.
I think maybe the story from that game is that I think Atlanta's a little bit farther away than them being in the Eastern Conference makes them out to be. It's because they don't have a real number 2 option for a championship level team, and it stinks because they've got the guy. Trae Young is the guy. He is that good. But
yes,
I don't know. When he was at that game should not have been that close if with the Knicks injured and Trae dropping 45. You know?
Yeah.
So
who is the ideal second option for the Hawks to pair with Trae Young that they could get?
Like, do you think they could reasonably get?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because
hypothetically, if we were saying that, like, I guess, and this would be true for every single team, but Donovan Mitchell, because
Yeah.
he is probably the best possible player who might get traded here soon. But I don't really know. That's one of those things where you're kind of projecting him to like want out after this year. And it's hard to project those things. And you can say like maybe that'll happen. It has a decent shot. There's been some rumors of it, but it may not. But if Donovan Mitchell was on the table, you would offer the farm and then some to go get him and pair him with Trae Young.
I think so too. I think that him wanting out is not a take that's crazy. There have been rumblings like of discontent with the Jazz for a while now. They've always been this close to being a championship team, but just haven't reached it. This year in a loaded West, it's hard to see them making it out of there. I think like this Jazz is kind of the same old Jazz team that we've seen before, who will probably fall at
this
some
is
point.
their last shot at it. I think this is I actually kind of think that this is the year where if you're going to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah.
The West is as weak as it's going to be for a long time, I think.
I don't know if it's as weak, but it's as open. I think like top to bottom, 1 seed through 8 seed, it's pretty good.
How many teams would it?
But it's not top heavy like it's been.
I would say that outside of the Suns, and I guess the Warriors, if they can get it together and get healthy, seeing any other team come out of the West would be like pretty crazy, honestly. Like pretty, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but like the Nuggets are super banged up and Murray isn't coming back. The Clippers are super banged up, and I really don't think that their guys are coming back. So those teams are just so hurt they can't do it.
If no one comes back for those teams, I think then it looks like okay. If the Suns don't make it out, it would be a massive disappointment because the Warriors, like Curry being hurt too. They just lost to the Orlando Magic of all teams. So
yeah, they got to get healthy, you know.
Yeah. So the Suns might end with like a double-digit lead on everybody. The Suns have also won more games in the last like year and a half than basically any team in history has won. I remember seeing the stat that like in a calendar year, only one of the Michael Jordan Bulls teams had won more basketball games than the Phoenix Suns in 2021. And I can't remember exactly what year it was, but the 2021 Suns have won more basketball games than every other team in history except for one. So yeah, I would in this West, I guess it would be like, I do think like, I still don't want to get my hopes up too much. Like the Suns are just these locks. So I think they're fallable, but yeah, I guess so.
Their big thing is Chris Paul not getting hurt.
Yeah.
He's got to play. But outside of that, like, yeah, anything other than making it back to the finals is a massive disappointment for the Suns.
Yeah, they cannot lose. They cannot lose. And winning the finals, really. Anything else but winning, if they go back and lose, that's not like last year losing the finals was like, okay, still one of the best seasons in Suns history. We like Giannis just was Giannis and it sucks, but like this was still on for this year. It's like, okay, we're not at all content with a loss to Giannis again. All right. So no, anything outside of a finals win, it would should be pretty massively disappointing to me as a Suns fan, but
yeah. You guys see the Zion dunk? People are sleeping on him. He has not, like, he's got to play. I think everyone is aware of how great he is, but he just got to play.
Right. Yeah, I think there's some people who are sleeping on him a little bit just because he
hasn't played in forever.
He's just a meme too, and he's like fat, and people are just gonna like typecast him as just like this fat bad bust, and he's not like that. But Matt, you are right. Like he does have to actually do that in a game, you know. And it's so I think some people are sleeping on him, and he's overhated with like the fat jokes and just in general. But maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I've made fun of him a little bit too. I think, but I don't know.
There's always a line with that stuff, you know. It's like,
I haven't made fun of his weight. I made fun of the video where he's on the phone call with that girl, calling her beautiful. I may have poked fun with that at that video, but I've never called him fat. So I've not.
It's like, you know, a guy will play bad in the playoffs, and everybody, it's like, okay, get some jokes off, and then people will do it for months and months and months and be just totally ruthless about it. And it's like, okay. Yeah. Like with the Ben Simmons stuff, it's like there's a point where it's like, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we get like, Ben Simmons. when it happened, obviously he's going to catch slander, and he always will catch slander. And I'm not saying like he deserves to catch slander, but like it's if you play that bad in a finals in a playoff game, like that's just the nature of the sport. Like you gotta like you don't maybe deserve the things that happened to Ben Simmons, but like in the immediate aftermath, it's like okay, I get venting your frustrations on a sports player. It just comes with the job. And but like yeah, it did go on for a long time. So yeah.
Top
does
five
Tyreek-
current players:
Um
Giannis, Jokic, KD,
LeBron, Embiid.
Embiid, Curry, Luka. One of those three guys. Top five.
That was more than that was 7, but you know,
One of
there are 7 top 5 players. Thoughts on the Celtics? Celtics are on an absolute tear right now, which I called. All right. Not quite for the. I said that when they traded for Derek White from the Spurs, that was one of the most underrated moves of the off seasons. I called it, which, you know, Derek White has not been this like massive. He's not like the reason they're on this run they're on right now. I don't think he like
started
like
shooting better is part of it. And they just
yeah, it's just they just figured it out. And they figured it out even before that move. But since that move, they have been really good. And I'm just gonna say I called it, and it's all Derek White, even though it's not all Derek White. I said, what did I say? Heat versus Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, which, you know, the Celtics might make it there. I'm a little bit. I didn't realize quite how bad Jimmy Butler's shooting is, but he's shooting 18% from 3. I didn't quite realize how low that number was.
Yeah, he hasn't been hitting threes in a long time.
Yeah, so I don't know if it'll actually be the Heat there, but they were my preseason pick, and I would just feel sick. I would feel sick if I called it preseason at the 1 seed all the way through the year, and then I jumped off the bandwagon and they made it. I would just feel sick if I was right and I changed my mind. So Heat versus Celtics is still my Eastern Conference Finals pick. And yeah, I've been a Celtics believer for a while now. Tatum is
Tatum should have traded Jaylen Brown at the deadline, right?
I
shouldn't traded him for role players.
Yeah.
they need to. That's another team that could give up the farm for a third guy pick wise. I'd like to see them go. I wish DeJounte Murray was actually available within
Bulls
reason,
all the way. The Bulls stat that they're 0-16 against.
That's kind of insane.
It's kind of like not even like realistic to even for a fraudulent team, they're gonna pick up a couple. The Magic have beaten the Magic just beat the Warriors, you know,
yeah, every team has one.
Every team is going to pick up like one fluky win, even if they're a total fraud. So, this Bucks hate. I like the Bucks. I just want to be different, you know. I just want to be a little bit different and be right, you know. And yeah, I like the Bucks a lot. I love Giannis, and
no honor in just picking the Bucks to win.
There's no honor to picking the Bucks. I know you're going to pick yeah, I know you're going to pick the Bucks, but I'm going to try to be a little bit different, and say Heat in a wide open East that maybe something crazy could happen. But
no, I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
Yeah, the Bucks are really good, and again, I do think like if the Bucks and the Heat played in a 7-game series, I really do think that could go either way, despite Jimmy being a bad shooter. Just because I think Bam Adebayo is a good guy, and PJ Tucker are guys you would probably want as much as anybody on Giannis. Like if you're a Bucks fan, there's not that many teams in the league that you respect their ability to stop Giannis. I don't know how many teams that would be. Maybe the Sixers, Heat, and who else? Maybe
I'm going to lose my mind if we have to watch a Bucks 76ers series. The number of fouls. It's I mean, it's brutal. And honestly, man, I feel like it would if you show some of the fouls that they give to Giannis to like someone who didn't watch much NBA, it'd be very hard to explain to them how the defender did not have the right to be there because they were slightly moving and they can just get trucked.
It goes into my take that basketball has the objectively the worst rules of any sport, which is my take.
It's such an easy fix to just just start penalizing them as flagrants when it's late in the game and it's an intentional foul.
Yeah,
you don't need to do anything crazier than that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They're gonna go to that like weirdo all-star format, maybe.
I don't hate the ending of the Elam ending, which is what the All-Star game does, where it's like to a certain score. I really do like change is scary, and change is never going to get mainstream support from NBA fans who love the NBA and love it despite its rules. And I don't think that I like the NBA. I don't think like it needs to change, but
I don't
like
know.
it really is like unfortunate. I do think like FIBA has better rules than the NBA. I do.
Yes.
I think like to a certain score at the end of games would prevent fouls, and it would always end on a basket, which is exciting. And I think like that makes sense. I do think like it doesn't make sense in terms of like what will the target score be each game, and it would make people like do math, and it would make the game a little bit harder to track, which is probably what would prevent it from getting implemented. But like maybe in overtime, like first, instead of like teams going to a certain score, like teams like overtime being like a certain time, you could be like, okay, we're just tacking on 20 points. Like,
See, I'm not a fan because with the Elam ending, you would never have overtime.
right, you would never have overtime.
I think that would suck.
So, but like once you're in overtime, then you implement the Elam ending, and
And there's
then
no.
like,
I love double OT. I love long games like that. I think my problem with the Elam ending is that there's no buzzer beaters.
but or is there always buzzer beaters?
No, there's never buzzer beaters. Like there's never a shot. You would never see a shot again where it would be if I make this, we win. If I don't, we lose.
Well, there would be if the Elam ending was only overtime.
Would there?
Yeah, because you could win it in regulation. If you were down one and then there's a buzzer beater and you hit a 2, you'd win. But if it was just overtime, there wouldn't be any overtime. Then
But
you
then that
wouldn't even
doesn't- that
really
doesn't
need. Like, what
fix-
is the point? You still get. I'm gonna kill traffic and cars going by. It's so loud all the time. Yeah, this has turned me into my. I'm going off schedule here, but I'm going to have my Joker moment here. I live next to an intersection in the downtown Phoenix, and it's just loud all the time. The next place I live is not going to have any cars anywhere nearby. Anyway,
I'm more of a Riddler guy now. I really liked the Riddler. Have you seen the new Batman?
I
You
still
have, right?
haven't, man.
You haven't.
I don't watch it. I've watched.
I'm not
so
a
few
big go to
movies.
movies guy, but I went to this one. It was pretty good. I
All
like.
right, I'll go. Maybe I'll go.
He's a good villain.
Tomorrow. Paul Dano. There's multiple villains in that one, right? Is Catwoman a villain? I'm always confused. I'm not a big Batman guy.
No, she's not a villain.
She's not a villain. She is bad though.
Don't
But
spoil.
yeah.
Saying Catwoman is not a villain is not that big of a spoiler.
Okay. I'm not like. Yeah, I assume that means she just.
But
helps
yes,
them
we
out.
won't
I
spoil, we
like
won't
in
spoil.
like DC canon. I'm always confused if she's a villain or not. She's
I
kind
have
of,
no idea.
I don't know. But anyway.
I just
Anyway, don't spoil. This is not a spoiler. Yeah, this is just me asking if Catwoman is like in DC lore, is she like a Gotham like bad guy or a good guy? I'm always confused. She's a burglar. That's what she is. But that's not like as bad as like trying to kill the whole city like some of them are. So I guess I think she's just kind of an annoyance and not so much like a big super villain. Anyway. Okay, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I've not seen it, no. But yeah, I'm gonna turn into the Riddler or Joker or whoever if
I think
have
I
to
think
listen
you're
to
talking
one
about your
more.
Joker moment. Go see the Batman, and then maybe it'll be more of like a Riddler moment.
It'll be a Riddler moment. It'll be a Riddler moment. I'll start leaving.
I think Riddler is like just a funnier character than the Joker, honestly.
It's both very funny. It's both very funny because superhero movies are supposed to be. I always think like the genre and like what DC movies are is like these incredibly like kind of gritty, like dramatic things. Like I'm always impressed that they're able to pull that off when the characters they're dealt is a dude dressed as a bat fighting a clown. It's like
a riddle
like
guy.
objective.
It's amazing how well they pull it off, because that's the thing you're thinking is like, there's no way I'm going to be able to take it seriously.
But they do.
They do.
They do. I've also been extremely I also think that it's been extremely good to see Marvel slander on the TikTok timeline. when they're like talking about like Marvel fans when Batman doesn't like look at the camera and say a joke, right? Because I'm at this point, I'm kind of a Marvel hater, and I'm not a DC lover by any means, but if it means that Marvel fans get made fun of, I'm a big supporter of it because Marvel movies at this point are not it, in my opinion. After Endgame, it's like, oh my God, we're still doing this.
I'll go see a Marvel movie if my friends are gonna go.
Right.
see
Yeah.
a
No,
Marvel
me and my
movie.
friends went to see Eternals because they wanted to go see that. And I saw that and it's like, okay, this is a movie that I saw, you know. This
It's
is
like I
one of the-
saw Endgame and like, you know,
yeah.
I'm not out of the loop,
No,
but
I'm not watching like my friends over at an apartment were watching WandaVision. I gotta say that show looked like absolute just terrible. Looked terrible.
I didn't see much about that one. I
didn't
saw
I
some
didn't see
people
it
on
much.
Twitter
I saw like
talking
one
about it,
episode
but-
because people were watching it just like at a function I was at. And I'm like,
Is
what?
is the Flash show? That's DC, right?
That's DC.
That it cannot be worse than that show. That is the
I'm
worst
sure
show.
it's
I've-
not. Superheroes is a genre. It's like this is not NBA, but like it's just like
Not
wet.
quite.
They remind me of wet. Like there was a period in like I don't know what
Westerns,
like
yeah.
Westerns was like every damn movie. Like Clint Eastwood, like Westerns was just like a thing. Superhero movies are kind of like the new Westerns where it's just like kind of this whole like thing by its like they all yeah. Scorsese was right about superhero. I agree. I agree. I don't think like superhero movies are like I don't consider like they're obviously movies, but like they're not like they're just like I don't know. They're just like their own little entity. I don't know. It's anyway.
Thoughts on LeBron about to win scoring title at age 37? How many would he have if he was playing like this all the time?
A lot.
Probably one more than Jordan would be my guess. But no, it's cool. I mean, it's just crazy. It keeps getting every year he does it. He keeps
Yeah.
playing at this level. It gets crazier. He's gonna be like, is he gonna be first team all NBA?
He should probably well, Giannis is gonna make it as a do they do like the all-star game? Do they do a center or do they do like three front court,
Let me double
two
check.
backcourt, or is it two forwards as center? And
I
the
think
shooting-
it's two forwards
it-
to center.
Is it like very clearly point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward?
No, I think it's two guards, two forwards, center. Unless I'm really mistaken about that.
Because
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
two guards, two forwards, and is he going to be first team? I mean, I think so. What other?
I
forward
think
would
so
you put
too. I mean,
over
if he
him?
wins the scoring title, what's he? I mean, he's listed as a small forward on NBA ref. That's the thing about him is you could probably put him at a at a couple different places. So, he's at small forward on at least listed on Pro Basketball Reference. Jesus Christ. After being listed as a point guard the last 2 years, so I don't know what that changes, but
I'm pretty sure he was still counted as a forward by
yeah,
the NBA last year. I think because I mean Giannis will be there, but I don't know what other
would it come
forward 'cause-
KD? Would it? I don't think it would be KD.
Yeah, no. That's gonna be tough. The problem is it's gonna be really tough to give it to Kevin Durant if LeBron has the scoring title.
Right. It's like
And
okay,
it'd be very tough to say LeBron, but then with the record, but then the Nets are the 8 seed right now. It's tough.
I think it would probably go to LeBron over KD. I think it would if LeBron was a better scorer in that season. Like you can be like, okay, LeBron also adds more as like, you know,
It's gonna be
playmaking.
interesting.
So I think I would probably right now I would say yes. If he scored, he's LeBron James, first of all. And second of all, if he has the score, he's LeBron James with a scoring title. So yeah, I would probably bet on that over Durant or any of the other forwards. DeRozan, maybe would he make it over? I guess he's a guard.
Yeah, DeRozan will be a guard. It'll be KD missed too many games. How many games has he played? 45.
How many has LeBron played?
Oh,
LeBron
dude,
misses time as
KD
well.
How many games? We don't have enough games left for Kevin Durant because the way that the scoring title works, the number is 58. So it's
Okay.
your average number of points if you play 58 games. But if it's under 58, then it's the total number of points you got. And then it's points per game if you had played 58. So if you only play 50 games, for example, your number still gets divided by 58 instead of your actual points per game. So he's basically got. I don't think the Nets have 13 more games, so he's really screwed.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is screwed. He'll never.
Well,
It's
for
over
scoring
for
title,
him.
yeah. Otherwise, he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
okay.
Otherwise, other than that, yeah, I do think LeBron will make it. I do think LeBron will make it. I think that
It's Bron, man.
there's
First
not
team All NBA at 37 is ridiculous.
John Morant first team. I would say so. I would say that he would probably make a push to make it over Curry at this point, which is pretty crazy. Would it be Morant, DeRozan, LeBron, Giannis, Embiid is probably what my guess would be. Could I be wrong, or am I right? Am I forgetting somebody?
A guy like me is giving it to Jokic, but
A guy like I might give it to Jokic too. But if I'm trying to predict what it'll be, I do think Embiid will take it.
it's gonna be a tough one. Someone's gonna be top 3 in MVP voting and not be first team All NBA. It's gonna be very, very sad.
Yep. So that's probably my guess on what it would be is Morant, DeRozan, LeBron, Giannis, and Embiid, which isn't bad. It isn't bad. So yeah.
It's weird. First team All NBA for DeRozan is crazy. He deserves it, but it's crazy.
It is crazy, even though he's 0-16 against good teams, sadly, but it do not matter. It do not matter. He still does deserve it. It's just funny. Who do the Bulls even get in the first round? Would they get first rounded? Do you think they're getting first rounded?
Depends on who they play. Right now, they'd match up against your Boston Celtics.
My Boston, yeah, they're getting first rounded. The Celtics are sending those boys
sad.
home, sadly. Better best player, Roy Williams, right? Defensive. He said he's went up against. Speaking of Batman, he had a quote the other day. He went up against Jokic, and he was like, "Well, call me Batman because I'm gonna stop the Joker." And then he did. He kind of did. He kind of had a good game against Jokic. So he's been ridiculous on defense. That's probably been the biggest key to them. Not Derek White, like I'd like to claim, but no, just them kind of turning it up a notch on defense is big time. And Roy Williams has been really good at that. So Batman stop the Joker at least for a game. But yeah.
Do you think they should get rid of positions for all NBA teams? I don't know. Yeah, probably. But then it's not really even a team. It's just like, here's the 5 best players. Here's the 10 best players. Here's the 15 best players.
I think that they can give it to the positions. I think that people just need to
understand that, you know,
that second team All NBA is really, really, really good. And it's the same thing with All Pro in the NFL. It's like, if you didn't make first team All Pro, and the biggest problem with this is Pro Football Reference, because when you go and look at their page, if they made second team All Pro, there's no big plus by their name, and people are like, oh, they just didn't make an All Pro team that year, and so people think it's like worthless. It's the same thing with All NBA, where it's like they need people. It's a little bit better with that. The NBA does a little bit better of a job, like letting people know, like, hey, second and third team is still like a crazy accomplishment. I don't think that they need to. What did I say? Roy Williams, Grant Williams. Oh my God, wrong Williams. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Celtics fans. Grant Williams. I'm so sorry. I misspoke. But yeah, I just think like they don't need to. I think that it can be a team. I think it's fun to debate the positions and whatever. I just think people need to like, get it through their head. And like, just because you make second team doesn't mean that you didn't have an incredible season.
Luka deserves it more than DeRozan.
Maybe you may be right. Luka's got the Mahomes effect where it's like his expectations are so high where
Didn't
it's
beat
like
expectations like
this
DeRozan
year can
did.
be a
It's
little
tough.
bit underwhelming, and he might still be better than DeRozan, whereas DeRozan just massively outperformed and hit all the crazy shots. So he's got, like, in people's mind, had the better season for him, but like overall you probably would say Luka's the better player. So it's tough.
It is a tough one.
I think it's valid whoever you go with there. Some people are gonna. I don't think like it's. Do the Heat destroy the Sixers in the playoffs? I mean, the Heat just lost to the Sixers who didn't have Embiid or Harden, so it's hard for me to imagine that they just beat the brakes off the Sixers in the playoffs. Robert Williams. I do mean Robert Williams. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Jesus
I was
Rob Williams. That makes more sense on why I said Roy
Yeah, that's
because
what I
it's
was saying, like,
ROY
I
instead of
don't think
ROB.
Grant Williams was
Grant Williams. I'm like,
on
okay,
Jokic that
my
much.
bad. And then I was like, oh right, it wasn't Roy. Well, that was somebody else. Okay. Me, the biggest Celtics fan has been revealed as the biggest casual by getting his name.
Trey, third team. Honestly, I'd have to sit down and look at all the guards, but dude, he's so nice. He's still underrated.
He is
Trey
underrated.
Young is still underrated, I fear.
Is Cat a lock for third team?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
They're not giving that shit to Gobert.
They're not. I hope not.
Gobert.
That fraud.
Plus Cat's been balling, so yeah.
Cat has absolutely been balling. He's gonna get a little bit of recency bias to carry.
DeRozan, most improved player with ease, right? It's got to be.
Really? I never thought about that, but
He's got to
maybe.
be. He's easily the most improved player. He went from not an all-star to first team all NBA.
That is okay, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he improved the most. He's been shooting like crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
I know he was already
improved. I never really thought of that because it's like, okay, it's been usually that award is
Ja
not
most improved. It's a tough one.
DeRozan is not actually going to win that award though.
No, he will not probably.
But yeah, I guess that is a decent point. Ja is the holy cow. Ja's the big favorite.
Yeah,
you could not bet on anybody else, and Ja is just on betting pros.
See, the thing is like I didn't consider
3,
Ja for most improved, but like because I knew he was like this the whole time with the row. But yeah, Ja. Belichick retired. You're lying.
Did he?
No, I think that's a lie.
I never know what to think anymore.
Not seeing it. So no.
Not seeing it.
Darius Garland, most improved player. Not over Ja, I'm afraid. Not over Ja, I'm afraid. If we're going off eye test, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is not up there with Ja and DeRozan as far as improvement goes, in my opinion.
Yeah, those guys, I mean, RJ Barrett really improved, but I mean, those guys, are MVP candidates. So, was Ja Morant an all-star last year? So, I don't know. I don't think he was. Maybe he was. I don't think he was.
I don't remember.
So, yeah, to go from not an all-star to an MVP candidate is better than going from like a pretty good player to a very good player. But, Bill Belichick did not retire. Okay. Fraudulent. I would have that was a good fake one though. That one usually I have a pretty good sense of what would be fake and what would be real, but that one really made me pause.
Miles Bridges is it would be cool if he was most improved. He's gotten better, but he's not most improved like Ja.
Yeah. Hero for 6-man, I agree. I don't know who else would do it, but yeah. Yeah, MVP, yeah. It'll be interesting. I really think Jokic is not as close to winning MVP as people think that he is. That's my maybe take. I think Embiid's kind of got it locked up. I just don't see it. Like everybody's like, oh, it's so close. Oh, it's so close. I agree that it's so close, but I just don't think. I think NBA writers made up their mind a while ago that it's Embiid, and I just don't think. I don't know. I've never ever been surprised at an MVP getting named. Like I've never been like before the ceremony, like truly unsure of who is going to win. Every single year, I think it's pretty obvious. And this year, it's just the cards are Embiid, and I would honestly be shocked if he didn't win it, even with 13 games left. Or however many there are.
It's a tough one.
I think it'll be Embiid. I really do.
They're what? They're like the Nuggets are like 2 games back from the 76ers. If Philly gets to the 4 seed and the Nuggets can like be the 6, you've got a real debate. I don't think it's locked up at all.
Maybe. I don't. Yeah. If they ended with if Jokic ended with a better record than Embiid with less help, because that's what really moves people more than Raptor or Vorp or anything like that. They just look at the wins. So yeah, I guess that could maybe move people. I just don't know if I see the Nuggets catching them actually, but maybe they do.
I don't know. I think it's pretty darn close. And like if Milwaukee becomes the 1 seed, they don't really want to give it to Giannis probably because
They don't. They want to give it to Embiid. They want to give it to Embiid.
They want to give it to Embiid, but he is not actually pulled away. He hasn't. He is not actually pulled away, and it's hard to argue he has.
Yes.
That he's like that. It's like that he can win. Absolutely. That maybe if the voting happened the day he'd win. Yeah, is pulled away. I don't know.
I just think like if it's close, it'll go Embiid, and I think it'll be close. And that's I think it can't not be close. And if it's because Embiid doesn't need to pull away, one of the other two needs to pull away. Like it has to be clear and obviously not Embiid for Embiid not to win, in my opinion. And I just don't think it's gonna like end up being like that. I think it's gonna be pretty. Yeah, I think others have to pull away. I think it's Embiid's year to lose it. Someone else has to like be just out of this world good, not Embiid these last 3 weeks or however many weeks are left. So that's my take.
I mean, Jokic is plus 135 for
they don't care
right now.
They don't care. They want to give it to Embiid. You care. I care. They don't care.
I disagree. I don't think Embiid. The problem that they have to overcome really is like we didn't give it to our argument against Curry not being MVP, and Curry wasn't MVP last year, was the seeding. And I guess Jokic doesn't have great seeding, but if he's not going to be in the play-in and he's only a couple games back from Embiid, it's a little bit different, I think they can give it to him.
Maybe. I think they can too, but I don't think they will. I think if it's close, if it's like, if we're having the same conversation 3 weeks later and it's like, well, I could really make an argument that Giannis and Jokic were both better than Embiid.
And I would agree that right now, if it happened, it would be Embiid, but there's totally the possibility for like Jokic to just get on a little bit of a hot streak towards the end here, which, players do. If he gets on a hot streak at the right time, I think they'll win it.
Yeah, recency bias is a powerful thing as well. So yeah, I think Jokic, I would give it to Jokic. I think that it's incredible that the Nuggets are where they are, and I know that you agree, but yeah, I think that Embiid's got it. I just don't think that I just think it's Embiid's year. I don't know. I hope not, because I bet money on Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid, and I would win the most money if it's not Embiid. So I would like it to not be Embiid, but if it is Embiid, I'll take it. It's the free money hack, though. If you bet on those three, if one of them wins, yeah, it's free. It's the infinite money glitch. I actually don't know if that's still true, but a couple weeks ago it was. Yeah. Had the preseason Jokic MVP and Monty Williams Coach of the Year parlay for $800. It's looking decent right now, but I don't know. They just don't like repeating things. They don't. None of them should win. It should be Ja. That is a pretty tough thing to argue when the Grizzlies have literally have one of the best records in the league without Ja Morant. So it's tough to say like the most valuable player in the league has been Ja Morant. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's so the voting process for MVP is so goofy.
Grizzlies record without Ja Morant. 32-20. Yeah, 32-20. Is that right? That seems like a lot of games for him to miss. No. Oh, that's with Ja Morant. No, I want without Ja Morant. So that cannot be right. 14-2. You're right. Yeah, no, he's not winning MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, how can you argue most valuable when that's happened? Matt, do you not use blankets? I just take my sheets off my bed, put them over on my dresser. We're about to record, so I don't have to make my bed. I don't just sleep on just a fitted sheet and nothing else. No pillows.
No pillows. Just get down and sleep. Yeah, Matt doesn't. That's storage space for Matt. He sleeps on the ground in front of the door. Yeah. If Luka had a better first half of the season, would he be a top 3 candidate?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think he would be. Luka, I would maybe put Luka in my top 5 players list. I'm a big Luka fan. Every playoffs we have he looks like the best player in basketball. Like when the spotlight is really bright on him, like during the Clippers series, both Clippers series, I think he's looked like arguably the best player in basketball both times. And I think like in this playoffs, whoever he gets in the first round, I think it'll look that way again. With the way he's been playing recently. So I'm a big Luka fan. I don't like he's kind of a foul whiner, which is annoying, but everybody is, I guess. But yeah, I do think Luka could, if he had like a really good first half of the season, yeah, it would be. But
I'm trying to convince myself that Zion will come back in time for New Orleans for the plans. They'll beat the Lakers, they'll beat the Clippers, they'll make the plan or the playoffs, lose, and we get the 15th pick. But
that would be nice. Scotty is rookie of the year. Yeah,
dude, I just don't have a strong opinion about rookie.
I don't
of the year
either.
This season.
Giddey's
I
been
just
great.
don't.
Barnes has been great.
I did last year. Yeah, it's like Mobley and
Mobley's been
Cunningham
great.
and Scotty have all been really
yeah,
good.
it's been a fantastic draft.
What do you think about Devin Booker being upset that they changed the criteria for MVP and that they don't he's not being considered?
Well, he's not. He's not the MVP. So I'm not,
Right.
he's just not. The Suns are just so deep that like Jokic means more to the Nuggets than he means to the Suns, even though the Suns are the better team. And even though their record is so good without Chris Paul, I just think the Suns are just a great basketball team. They're a great unit. Every single player on that team is balling out right now. And I just don't think anybody on that team is an MVP candidate. And that's not to say that Booker is bad or anything. It's just the case with the Suns. It's just the truth. So, but D-Book is not MVP, sadly. But yeah, Franz Wagner, look, he's probably not rookie of the year. I don't know who I'd give it to. I'd probably give it to.
I'd give it to
Depends on if if
whoever
the Cavs,
has the most points per game. Honestly,
I would give it to.
I don't
know who I would give it to. Maybe I would give it to Scotty Barnes. I honestly might. Like if Jared Allen gets hurt and that just causes the Cleveland Cavaliers to just totally have a downfall, whereas Barnes is one of the best players on a playoff team.
Yeah.
And like if it's close and he averages more points per game or whatever, I might be down with the Scotty Barnes narrative. But yeah, it's really close. I could be down with the Giddey narrative, but I don't know. He's on one of the worst teams in basketball. So as good as he's been, I don't know if he's been better than like Barnes or Mobley, and he doesn't have any kind of record edge. But Mobley playing elite defense as a playoff team as a rookie, I don't disagree. But if when the other big man gets hurt and they just totally fall off a cliff, that's a tough narrative for him. But I don't know. I'm not big into narratives, so I'd have to look into it more deeply. Cade easy. Scotty upgrade over K. Bad shooting. Yeah, I Scotty usage over K. Yeah, I don't know. I think Scotty might be my pick right now. Thinking about it just off the top of my head, but I haven't looked into it deeply. But I could be wrong. How is Spoelstra never won Coach of the Year? I don't know. Well, he's not going to win Coach of the Year when he has the super team of LeBron and whatever. He wasn't going to win it when the Heat went to the finals because it's like a regular season award and they weren't like a 1 seed or anything. So that's probably why. Even though he's been a great coach the whole time.
I'd like Thunder going to get Chet. I don't know how to feel about Chet.
I don't think Chet is the type of prospect that's going to get you to from the basement to the top. I don't know.
I like him a lot. I really do see it with the skill set. I think it's ridiculous. He's just got to put on a little bit of weight. Look at Cade's stats recently. Is he averaging the most points per game?
Well, Cade, that's the thing is like Cade is really coming on strong, but over the course of the whole season, like recently doesn't move me for a regular season award. So it would have to be look at Cade's stats.
Yeah, but there's if your argument for rookie of the year in any way centers around since the All-Star break,
yeah, it's
not, in this. If we don't count the entire season somehow, then look at the stats. None of that.
Yeah, that's not good. That's just not a good faith argument. All right. Well, do we have anything more to say, or do you think we can wrap it up after about an hour here? I'm
I think
looking
we
at
can wrap
Cade Cunningham compared to Scotty Barnes here, just to see, just to look at their stats for the whole year. Barnes is shooting better. He's got the higher field goal percentage, less points per game though, less assists per game, more rebounds. Barnes is more total points, less turnovers by a decent margin. I don't know. It's really close. It's
Yeah.
really close. I think Barnes, I don't know. Barnes has been substantially more efficient if you look at like advanced stats. I don't know. Weird. It's I would give it to Barnes. He's been more efficient. The scoring is pretty
He's on,
close.
he's on a good
On a
team.
better
He's efficient.
team. He's
The
efficient.
defense.
He's played more games. All right. Like it's not that big of an edge, but it is like he's been contributing more through that way. He's just been more efficient on offense. Cade has definitely got a bag, and he's really good, and he's really coming on strong recently, and he might be the better player overall next year. But this year, I think Scotty Barnes has been a little bit more impactful than Cade Cunningham, and I don't think that's a crazy take by me by any stretch of the imagination. Final March Madness Final Four picks now. I'm sick. I'm sick of March Madness takes. They all aged so bad. But Duke is my only one left. UNC, I'm gonna pick them. Maybe I'll pick Purdue. Actually, no, I'm gonna pick Purdue. Purdue is a guy I really strongly considered taking them, and then I changed my mind. But they've looked really good, so I'll go with Duke, Purdue, Arizona, and then Kansas. I don't know.
I feel like I'm super laggy right now. I think I'm a little bit behind. I still think Gonzaga's winning it all.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I still got them.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and wrap it up?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. That's probably it for today, guys. Make sure to go watch every single other video on this account. And catch y'all next Wednesday.